episode 6, but it's IndyCar Weekly once again, here live on GlacierTV. I've got a load of people in Mid-Ohio that said, Will, you've got to go and do a broadcast. We're all in Mid-Ohio, it'll be a load of iRaces, it'll be amazing. And then, just like anything else, we get technical issues. However, for the time being, we have got Kerry Bettenhausen here. Kerry, it was raining over at Mid-Ohio. You had English weather, but looks like it's dried out now. It's looking pretty good for today.
Well, the sun's up. Things are starting to dry out, but last night was a night spent in Mud, Ohio, as we used to call it when I was a kid. The campground is a quagmire. We did manage to stay dry after consuming copious quantities of beer like one always has to do when one goes racing.
And in the background, I believe you can hear right now, they're actually practicing for the Indy Lights, is that correct?
Yes. I have not even been up to the racetrack since we got here. I can see the people at the top of the keyhole, which is where we usually watch the race from. But right now the campground is just kind of coming to life, and people are making their way over there.
So we've got a little bit to talk about in the next 25-ish minutes or so. Of course, Mid-Ohio, it's a track which always produces some pretty damn good racing in the eyes of the IndyCar series. This year, however, you decided to bring as many random iRaces as you possibly could with you. Who you got?
Well, right now I've got Tim Doyle, and actually he just rolled up, and he has a guest with him, and I haven't even met that person yet, so I don't know. We've got another Ohio iRacer here, Eric Vanek. My brother Todd's here, and we're going to have a big contingent of people here tonight. We've got some hardware set up, a projector, and Todd brought his PC. So we're probably going to be doing some spectator sessions, and also we swung by Cincinnati the day before we came over here and got our hands on an Oculus Rift. So we're going to be rifting later today also.
Awesome. So there's plenty of things going on, both on the real racetrack. You've got all you guys watching the race tomorrow. Of course, you've got qualifications on today. You've got Indy Lights as well. You have the process of the next 24-ish hours. Got all your iRaces. Apparently, you drank a lot of beer. You've actually had your first casualty already. Dave Judson couldn't handle it anymore, and he had to go home because he got ill.
Well, Mr. Judson, when I awoke, I had a text message from him. He said he puked about 5 times at the campground, and then I guess a few more times on the way home. It's sadistic. I shouldn't be laughing. For all I know, he could be on listening right now. But I was happy to see that his campsite was still here when I looked next door, and Eric Vanek's holding down the fort, and we expect Dave to be back. We thought maybe it was the campground pizza. They brought a pizza by, and we all partook of it, and Eric and Todd and I are fine, but Dave thinks he's got a case of food poisoning. He swears it's not the alcohol.
So, I mean, I know Dave, actually, and he can drink. I can drink more than him, but he can hold his drink. So, Dave, if you're in bed and projectile vomiting all over the place, you're missing a bit of fun. But you've got all those guys, and there's kind of another reason why you've brought people out here today, because you're trying to show off iRacing to a couple of pretty important people.
Well, it all started with a random conversation with NBC Sportsnet's Robin Miller. I'm sorry, did I just introduce him improperly? That is his current position, is it not? And we had lunch. Occasionally we meet with some of the old guys that are back from my dad's era, and the subject of iRacing always comes up. We pass our cell phones around and we show YouTube videos, and I mentioned that I'd finished second in a race at Phoenix the night before, and Robin wanted to know what car I was in, and I told him the Dallara, and throughout the course of the conversation, it turned out that he found out that we were driving the previous generation Dallara, not the DW12. So he said, hey, we got to do something about that. And now, obviously, he doesn't know anything about the the inner workings of any relationship between iRacing and Dallara and any of the other partners, Chevrolet, Honda, whatever. But he thought it would be a great idea to bring Derek Walker by and have a look and see what iRacing's all about. So we've been communicating on and off for the last week, trying to set that up. Originally, they were going to come by here this morning, But since we didn't have that many guys here yet, and it was still raining at the time, Todd didn't want to break out his computer equipment. We postponed that meeting until tomorrow, but it looks like it's going to happen after the warm-up tomorrow morning. Looks like they're going to be coming by.
And it was pretty damn wet last night. I can understand that. I mean, you can't expect Rob Miller and Derek Walker to traipse around the muddy of the campsites. But, of course, Derek Walker kind of new into his position. He's only been in there, for about 2 months or so now. But it's a big change in many ways from what, IndyCar Series has had over the last 3 or 4 years. Of course, the way it was run with good old Tony George, and then over to Randy Bernard, and now, you've got Beakers in charge and Derek Walker handling a lot of things as well. It does look as though that IndyCar's going to turn that corner, and they've kind of become a lot more receptive once again to the fans. Of course, as far as iRacing goes, we've had a number of things in the past of iRacing. We had the 2010 iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, the 2011 IndyCar Premier Series, that's the one. We always had the Indy 500 as well, which I remember back in 2011, they actually pumped out on the big screens at Indianapolis. But that relationship did kind of drift away a little bit, and iRacing didn't really seem to have any understanding why. IndyCar never really said anything, and of course at the same time you had Sim Raceway saying, hey, we'll bin you an IndyCar game, and then decide to almost go bankrupt.
Well, I understand that Randy Bernard was more interested in pursuing console gaming market as a way to, or the console gaming crowd as a way to market IndyCar to the masses. And I think it's up to us, as a community, to convince IndyCar that they need to maybe give iRacing a nudge in the right direction and hasten development of that DW12. Hopefully tonight, having spectator sessions going, even though the campground wasn't particularly busy last night, just about everyone in here came by to see what was up, because we've got a bit of a showplace of a tent here, and by projecting some iRacing stuff on the wall, it'll be visible from inside and outside the tent, and hopefully that'll attract a bit of a crowd, and we can kind of get a buzz going, and hopefully maybe bring that DW12 along a little further. It's my understanding that it's licensed, and that really there are no roadblocks to bringing the DW12 to us, other than it rising to the top of iRacing's priority list. And there's a lot of factors that go into that, participation probably being the primary one. Despite what some people say about the, some of the childish behavior in the forums and whatnot, nobody's being punished. The Dallara community is not being punished because there are a few bad apples spoiling the bunch, in the iRacing forums. It's really a matter of iRacing having limited resources to bring to bear on so many different tracks and cars that they're working on, and they have to take a look at the whole picture and pursue things on that priority list based on a number of factors, not just what people want. I was told by Sean Siff that our community, meaning the Dallara community in iRacing, isn't unique in that there are a lot of smaller communities that would like to have updates to the vehicle that they their vehicle of choice in iRacing, and iRacing is just so content rich that they don't have the resources to keep everybody happy. So the thing that we need to do is just be happy with what we've got, and be good ambassadors for sim racing, and be good race fans, and good things will happen. That's the way I see it. Participation.
By the way, these sound like you can hear in the background.
Yeah, Todd's here going, participate, drive the car. That's what we need to do.
We have got, by the way, as I say, Indy Lights practice going on in the background. You'll be pleased to know that Patrick Dempsey is leading the way in practice for the time being. He is about a hundredth of a second faster than Veach, Garcia third, Munoz fourth, and then Jeffrey's rounding out your top five. But back to the point that you're just making there. And it's interesting because we've had, 375-ish people sign a petition saying they want the DW12. And the important thing is as well, Kerry, is that the DW12 is, it will be the same way that, the IRL 0509 that we're running is the most versatile car in iRacing. In fact, you run it on the roadies and you run it on the ovals as well.
It's also the most difficult car to model in the simulation, from what I understand. Having talked to Sean Siff, they'd love to be able to give everybody what they want, and it just so happens that this vehicle is the most complicated and difficult, and as a result, probably makes it even more difficult for them to make it a top priority, because it would be stealing resources from so many other things they have going on. We're just gonna have to be patient. I mean, I'd love to have the car as much as everyone else would, and it is the premier open wheel series in North America. It's a car they run in the Indianapolis 500 now, and it deserves to be the car that we drive in the simulation, but it's not going to happen overnight, and nothing that we do this weekend is going to make it happen with the wave of a magic wand, but it's going to be a matter of setting the wheels in motion and hopefully keeping them turning, albeit slowly at times, to make this happen.
So let's go into a little bit more detail about actually what the plan is for tomorrow. You've got those two coming along. Is it just going to be a simple Q&A, question time session? I know you've got a video which some pathetic Englishman commentated on with Joshua Chin. And also, we had to say a bit of a thank you to Sean Siff as well. He's given you a load of iRacing banners and I believe some promo codes, etc. as well.
Yeah, we've got a few promotional items here. Not an extensive array, not as much as we'd like to have, but yeah, we've got a few coupons. The campsite's well identified. Everyone will be able to find it. As far as an actual agenda for tomorrow morning goes, nothing formal. I mean, this isn't a formal presentation. I've known Robin Miller since I was a little boy, back when he drove he actually worked in my dad's shop a little bit and bought a midget, the car, not the person, from my dad back in the 70s. And he's been a close family friend ever since, and certainly Derek Walker's no stranger to us either. Can't think of a better guy to be in his role right now, and back when Dad was participating actively in kart, and up through the early 90s, he was someone that we were certainly acquainted with. I wouldn't say closely, but I know he's very approachable and the right man for the job, and hopefully we can start some good things happening here.
Okay, I'm bored of talking to you
we'll
now.
Be playing the video.
Okay, talk about the video.
Who else
then
is
I'll
with
get
me
bored
right
of
now?
talking to you. No, carry on about the video. Then I'll get bored of talking to you and talk to someone else.
Okay. Yeah, the 3-minute promotional video, which is a really nice summary of what we're doing, what we've done, what the history of the Dallara has been in iRacing, a little bit about the enthusiasm of the community. All that is something that I'm sure we will present tomorrow. Other than that, we're going to have a PC set up. In fact, we're probably, by the time it's all said and done, we're going to have 2 or 3 PCs running iRacing content in one way or another. Tim Doyle even brought his Driving Force GT wheel and CST pedals. So, we planned on doing the Oculus Rift demo with Sim Raceway wheel, just maybe turning on the driving aids and just doing throttle and brake here at Mid-Ohio with the driving line on, so that anybody that walks by the tent can come in and strap on the Oculus Rift and step into virtual reality. Many of them may not realize what an incredible privilege that is, because it's emerging technology and it's in development, and for anybody to be able to see that a year or more before it hits the market, pretty special. So if we can get anybody, Robin, Derek, anybody that happens to follow them into our little tent, because I'm sure they'll draw a crowd on the way in, then we'll certainly give them an opportunity to try that. It's going to be a spontaneous thing. Nothing, nothing formal, nothing really planned. And it looks like we actually have iRacing going on this PC here now, spectator sessions.
Thankfully, I'm not racing, otherwise it'll just be a lol fest. But I want to talk to someone else now. Who else is here?
Okay, well, I got Tim Doyle here. I got Eric Vanek. I can put either one of those on.
I'll put TD on the line. It's been a while since I've talked to him.
Eric, you want to... on a minute. You don't want to talk.
He'll talk to me, and that's the bottom line.
Hang on a minute. You don't want to? Okay, hey, the interruption. Actually, you know, Tim just showed up and he brought breakfast and we're all eating and he's saying, please give me a minute.
Okay, I'll carry on talking to you in a minute.
I guess we'll have to stall for more time.
Okay, well, I'll talk about something else. The race tomorrow, Dixon.
Okay,
Pretty much is going to
I've got
win
Eric
the race.
Vanek here from Ohio too. He can probably give you.
Is that Vanek?
I'm sorry, we were talking over each other there. Vanek, you want to talk to Vanek?
Go on,
Hang
Vanek, how you doing?
Hello.
How you doing, Vanek? It's been a while. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, it could be worse. I didn't get, rained on last night. I didn't have someone in my tent wanting to prevent jar vomit, but I'm doing all right.
Good.
Tell me about Mid-Ohio and all the craziness that you've been having.
It's been a blast so far. Yesterday we went down in the pits and we got some nice pictures of the cars and some of the drivers. We were over by the Panther pits and talked to one of the crew members for a little bit, and that was pretty cool. Met Jake Query, who is part of IMS Radio Network, and talked with him for a little bit and talked about some of the old tracks and just sports in general, and just had a good time. It's been fun.
So, who's going to win the race? Well, yeah, we'll just talk about who's going to win the race. Who's going to win the race this weekend? Because, Dixon's blatantly fast. Power looks as though he's finally figured out what the noisy pedal is again. And then you've got a couple of other guys that are looking as though they've been pretty good in practice.
Yeah, well, last year it was pretty much Dixon, Power, and Pagano were the top three pretty much the entire race. I honestly don't see that really changing. I think those three will probably be the top three to beat again. And I don't want to admit it, but I think Dixon's probably going to be the winner.
And of course, you're a big Marco Andretti fan. He's kind of had mixed fortunes at this racetrack, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact year, but on the first lap going through the S's there, I remember Danica got into him and he flipped over on his head. So yeah, he's had some bad fortune at this track.
You said Danica, you have to drink. It's IndyCar Weekly rules, by the way. If anyone says Danica, and I've said it 3 times now, so I'm going to be held by the end of this, you have to drink. Simple as that.
All right, I'll do it.
So the atmosphere as well. I mean, it seems like it's a very friendly campsite, not only with yourself, the iRacers, but all the other random people as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've had a couple people just stop by and say, hey, they seen our tent pretty much from a mile away, and they came over to comment on it and just say hi. I mean, people are very friendly. I mean, I haven't ran into anybody that's been, a douche, so.
And why that is, we haven't got any racing ninjas.
Yeah, there you go.
But you're looking forward as well to meeting the awesomeness that is Robin Miller, because Robin Miller is awesome. And also Derek Walker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to meeting them. I've honestly have talked to Robin Miller a few times here. Just briefly chatted with him. I doubt he would remember me, but it'll be very cool to talk to him and Derek Walker tomorrow.
And as far as iRacing goes, you actually going to be running on iRacing this weekend? Watching spectator sessions? Laughing at people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Todd's working on it now, getting it all set up, and we'll definitely be watching and trying it out and seeing how it goes.
In fact, go put Todd on the line.
Todd on the line? All right, hold on 1 second. Here you go, Todd. Will wants to talk to you.
Hi, Will. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Yourself? Tell me about what essentially is probably a bigger outside broadcast operation that you've got going on than NBC's going to have this weekend.
Sorry, Will, I didn't quite catch that. Can you speak just a little louder?
Tell me about all the pretty computers and stuff that you have in your field.
You mean here at the campsite or in my...
No. In the campsite. That's the one.
Oh, okay. Well, I brought my dedicated iRacing iRacing PC here. It's custom built. It's in an open air chassis on a Z77 motherboard. I've got a GTX Titan in there, 3770K. Pretty much a hot rod, purpose-built iRacing machine. It's got a extra sound card in it for game audio, and I'm using the onboard audio to run SimVibe, but I didn't bring any of that hardware. Set up temporarily here with a small monitor, but I have an Oculus Rift development kit sitting right here in front of me, so we'll be experimenting with that later. And we also have a projector here, and we're going to be projecting on the inside of this this white large enclosure here that we have. Kept us nice and dry last night. In fact, we might project in a front projection so that people can watch it from the outside of the tent, because I think it's going to be transparent enough where we might be able to get a crowd from the outside. So, and we've got some audio gear here, some nice speakers and stuff like that. So as long as we can stay dry, we'll keep this stuff running and try to showcase iRacing and get some people interested in it. Didn't bring a cockpit or anything like that. I have a Sim Raceway steering wheel here, so just enough to kind of give people a taste. It's better than using a game controller, and that way people will be able to see what the Rift is all about. Did have a technical problem. I'm sorry about not being able to join you via the PC, but it seems to me that Verizon Mobile Broadband is being killed by TeamSpeak, but I'm spectating in iRacing right now, and it's working fine.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's funny as well. You know, Verizon official mobile board. I'm not going to say anything horrible about it, but it sucks that we couldn't get you on the PC so we could have a bit more of an in-depth chat with everyone around the round table. But I'm guessing that because you and Carrie are the architects of what's happened in the last, what's happening in the next 24 hours or so, I'm guessing that you guys are really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, we should have a really good crowd here tonight, and of course in the morning when Robin and Derek pay us a visit. But in the interest of full disclosure, swerving back into my technical problem here, I do have to say that I'm running Windows 8.1 Preview, and Verizon's mobile broadband and the Samsung drivers that are required to run it technically only support up to Windows 7, so I'm kind of out on the bleeding edge here. And it seems to be working fine in iRacing, but for some reason TeamSpeak is killing it off quickly now.
Well, that's a little bit sucky. Is there anyone else who wants to talk to me?
Well, all the Windows 8 sucks guys are laughing right now.
Yeah. The only thing that would be worse if someone said go and said buy a Mac. But is there anyone else that wants to talk to me, or should I just shut up and let you guys get over with it for the day?
Okay, now while we're talking about Macs, we have to say that apparently the Oculus Rift isn't working in the Mac version yet, so everything has its ups and downs. Let me check with these guys. Would anyone else like to talk to Will on the IndyCar live show? I'm not going to say that. They just got really chicken all of a sudden.
Grow some testicles and talk to me.
Grow some testicles and talk to me. Tim doesn't need to grow any. Here he is.
Hello?
How you doing, TD? Will Vincent, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Will?
I'm not too bad. You go to pretty much every single race in the world. I actually have no idea how you have enough time.
It's not about time. It's about money.
Well, yeah, that and that.
Costs quite a bit. Yeah. I'm not worried about time. It's all about the money.
But you're able to get yourself over to Mid-Ohio, and it looks like you're going to have a decent weekend of racing. And, I mean, of course, the track's a little bit greasy at the moment, which is going to make things interesting. But the next couple of days, looking as though we'll have ourselves a little bit of fun at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah. Place is always fun to come to. Racing pretty much all day long, so always something to do.
Yeah, something to do, something interesting, and of course, you kind of saved Todd and Carrie from having to use the Sim Raceway wheel by bringing you decent pedals, so they will actually get to use real gas pedals and that. But you looking forward to trying out the Rift?
Yeah. I've been seeing things about it. I haven't read much about it, but I'm definitely curious to see how it is, and hopefully I don't like it too much, because if I try it, I'll probably buy it. That's why I haven't tried motion sims, but yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. We got CSC pedals. I bought my DFGT wheel too, so we got a real steering wheel, and I haven't used that Sim Raceway wheel yet, so it'll be cool to try that too.
There's no help for my
put me back onto Kerry. I'm going to go let you get back to your McDonald's if you haven't finished it. There are other fast food chains available. But thanks for talking.
All right, well, yeah, I'll try to swing by and catch you guys some other time, and I'll try to figure out which one's Kerry. Hold on.
That one. No, another one. Shit.
Kerry.
It's okay. You can say the
well,
word
Kerry
shit on IndyCar Weekly. I do clearly say that strong language may be.
I think Tim did.
Oh, that's all right.
This is not a censored.
Yeah,
program.
Nim, if you're listening, it's fine. We're handling it. But I'm going to let you go in a minute. We've been on air for half an hour. I said we're only going to be on air for half an hour. So plans for the rest of the weekend. Go and convince people to buy iRacing. Go and have some decent racing. And pretty much that's it, isn't it?
That's it in a nutshell. I think having live internet racing on the projector tonight will attract people naturally. Their natural curiosity. They're going to ask questions, and I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of people camped around us probably don't even know iRacing exists, and we're out to do what we can to make them an endangered species.
Well, hopefully it'll be easier for you to talk to them than it was for me to talk to some of the people here today. Mr. Anonymous says that getting those lot to talk to you is like getting a chick to talk to me. That guy knows me a little bit too well. But I'll chat up with you a little bit tomorrow. In the meanwhile,
Come on, Will. I saw what happened when you came to Indy.
Shut up.
Get a chick to talk to you.
Yeah. Shut up.
They chased you around.
I know.
I saw it.
But I'll talk to you again tomorrow. In the meanwhile, thanks for stopping by. This has been IndyCar Weekly on Glacier TV. Add me at Will Vincent with 1 L on Twitter. If you add it with 2 L's, you get some random guy who likes Drupal.